Welcome, everybody, to the do's and don'ts of job search in 2025. My name is JT O'Donnell. I'm the founder and CEO of Work It Daily. I'm a 20-year career coaching veteran. I used to work in the staffing and recruiting industry, but then I said, I'm going to hop to the other side and teach people what they don't know about getting that job they want. So many of you are frustrated. If you take a look at the link in today's session, it is unbelievable the number of people that are planning to get a new job, even if they have to quit this year. This is how many people want a new job in 2025. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. A lot of those people aren't going to get a new job because they don't know what they're doing. They're doing the wrong things. They're doing outdated things. They're going to be frustrated. They're going to be really confused because they're going to go, wait, the things I used to do don't work anymore. That's right. 2025 is a different time. It's a different landscape, which means you have to learn things differently, do things differently in order to get what you want, which is a new job, a better job, more pay, less stress, rid of a toxic manager or coworker. Yeah. All right. Well, if that made sense to you, you are here at the right time because I'm kicking off the new year and this is my first podcast of the new year. And I am talking about what you do and what you don't do in 2025 to get a new job. Are you ready? All right. So let's talk about what you don't do. What you don't do is slap together a resume off some free random template you saw on the internet. Okay. Most of these free templates that are out there are not even making it through the applicant tracking systems. No joke. I am shocked when people come into Work It Daily because my team and I, we look at your resume for you. And then you work with us on a very specific proprietary resume template that has been approved by 74% of recruiters. Okay. And when we see what you do and you're like, oh yeah, I got that free. No, bad idea. Most of that stuff that's out there on the internet right now, super outdated. The fonts are outdated. The formats are outdated. We are not doing that. Okay. We are going to use the new 6-second skimmable resume format, which is good news because it's way easier to build than any other resume you've used before. Okay. You're going to create a simple, easy, skimmable resume, right? Second thing we're not going to do, we are not going to waste money on having someone else do our resume for us. Do you know how many scammers are out there right now? It sickens me because every day people are coming into Work It Daily showing us resumes that they paid $200 for, $500 for, thousands of dollars for. The worst one I saw in 2024 was a gentleman who showed me a resume. He paid $6,000 for his resume and LinkedIn profile to be done. They were both atrocious, completely scammed. See, these people know that you don't know what you're doing and they know that you're insecure. And so what better way to take advantage of you than to say, oh, your resume is the problem. Your resume isn't the problem. Yes, you need an updated resume. I'm not going to say that. Pretty soon you won't. We'll talk about that in a minute. Pretty soon you won't even need a resume. But right now in the beginning of 2025, you still need one. And they're preying on that. So please, you are not going to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on a resume scam. That is not what we're doing in 2025, okay? You know what else we're not doing when it comes to our resume in 2025? We are not using ChatGPT or some AI tool to make up a resume. Companies are spending thousands of dollars right now on technology to catch AI-generated resumes. And that's because last year they got slammed with applicants. And they were like, what is going on? We used to post a job and we'd get 100 applicants. Now we're getting 1,000 in an hour. And it's because a bunch of people built AI tools where people created fake resumes and stuffed their inbox. So that's actually why you're going to see a decline in the number of job postings. Companies aren't posting jobs anymore because of the AI backlash that happened to them last year. And they're going to be able to tell when you fully generated a resume off of AI, and you will be banned. You will not be considered for a job. Now, can you use AI, something like ChatGPT, to proof your resume? Sure. What I'm talking about is people that are literally having resumes made up. That is going to fail you. And you would not believe how many people have been doing that, okay? Same with those companies that are saying they'll apply to thousands of jobs for you in your sleep. Not a good idea. Companies are catching those bots and banning you from ever getting a job there as well. So you need to be careful. In 2025, it is all about hyper-targeted job search. It is not a spray and pray job search, which is what everybody was doing in 2024. Spray and pray job search is, let me just apply everywhere overqualified, underqualified, whatever, apply anywhere, and hopefully I get a response back. That absolutely broke the recruitment system. And so companies are putting a whole bunch of things in place in order to remove that. One of the biggest things they're putting in place is to not post jobs publicly. I just got asked in a live session I was doing for all of my clients. And one of my clients actually said, "Hey, do you think we're going to see a big surge in job postings in January?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Well, do you think there's not going to be new jobs?" I said, "Oh, there'll be new jobs. But companies aren't going to post them because of what happened to them in 2024. Here's what they're going to do instead. They're not going to post them on LinkedIn. They're not going to post them on Indeed. They're not going to post them on big job boards. They don't want 10,000 applicants that are all bogus. They're going to either only post it on their company's corporate website, because you would have to know to go there and you would have to want to work for them and look at their careers page, or they're going to post it internally at their company and tell people, if you know someone, if someone reaches out to you about this type of job, forward them to us. We only want people that are really making an effort to want to work for us, because it's the only way we know they're real. See, one of the big problems that happened in 2024 is AI created all this fakeness on both sides. And employers need to know you are real, that you are who you say you are, that what you're saying you can do is legit. And so that's why these are such big problems, right? So we're not going to use outdated free templates. We're not going to use AI. We're not going to pay and get scammed. What we're going to do is build a proper skimmable resume. It's a 6-second resume, meaning it's very simplified and it only covers the basics. Recruiters understand that this is a skim resume. It's only meant to catch their interest so that they should give you a call to learn more. It's a very different approach, but it's the one they prefer because they are completely blurry-eyed and exhausted from reading resumes that are overdone or fake. Okay? The other thing we're not going to do in 2025 is think that the only way we get a job is by applying online. Now, you might say, but JT, all these companies tell me if I want a job with them, I have to apply online. This is also an outdated thing. Okay, they're just saying that because they want you in their applicant tracking system. But the people that are really getting hired are not just applying online. They are back channeling. And make no mistake, back channeling is not networking. So one, our don't is we're not just going to apply online. That does not work. Study shows about a 0.3% chance you will get called if you just apply online. Do the math, 0.3% chance. 99.7% chance you will not get called when you apply online, when you only apply online, okay? Back channeling, not networking, is a do. This is where you then go the extra mile to try to find the department and the people that work in that department. Notice I didn't say recruiting or HR, the department where that job would be, and you try to connect with people there. You either see if somebody you know knows somebody at that company, right? The best way to get in is through that kind of referral. Or if you don't, you learn how to send a customized connection request to get their attention in order to connect and let them know you're a big fan, you applied for the job, all right? So back channeling is going to be a big do in 2025 in order to get a job. Again, I was just in a private session with all my clients, and one of my clients back channeled his way in and now has an interview with the hiring manager, which leads into another do for 2025. You are going to build a job matching matrix when you're getting interviews. So the job matching matrix is a tool where you say, okay, here's the job description. Here's my resume. Let me show you how they match. See, recruiters are tired of reading resumes that they're not even sure are true and trying to figure out, are you a match for this job or not? Same for hiring managers. So if you want to score big bonus points in 2025, if you want to stand out from the competition, you're going to put together a job matching matrix that maps out, hey, for each of the things that you required on your job description, here's how I match. And you're going to give them this document in advance of an interview, or if you can back channel when applying to the job. I can't even tell you the hundreds and hundreds of people that use our job matching matrix methodology in the fall of last year. This is something we brought out to our customers because it was getting so competitive to look for work. We're like, here, let's do this. The number of people that landed interviews and got jobs and were told it was because of their job matching matrix, never seen anything like it. Like every single day in our community, we have a private community and people kind of post like their wins and things that have happened, because in our community there are people that are ahead of you in job search and behind you in job search, and that's really the best way when you're looking for work, to be surrounded by people who are all doing the same thing and learning. Like when you're learning with other people, it's better. So the number of people that be like, oh my gosh, just got the interview, they love the job matching matrix, oh my gosh, just finished the interview with the hiring manager, said it was the best thing they'd ever seen. And you even get to use it when you negotiate more salary when you get the offer. So like this document is so powerful. It's something you really should do for any job that you want very badly. So that's going to be a big do, okay, in 2025. And then the last big do that I'm going to give you in 2025 is you're not going to apply anywhere where you don't have a connection story. Don't even waste your time. If you can't talk about how you feel connected to their business, to the work, to the products or services they sell, if you can't talk about this connection, you're not even going to be considered in 2025. And let me tell you why. There are so many people applying for the same job. And companies are like, we have 10, 50, 100 candidates, all with the exact same experience. So experience isn't going to get you the job. That's just a given. Okay. What's going to get you the job is the person that really shows that they have the most what's called intrinsic motivation. And it's really just a fancy term for a mindset that's going to get you up out of bed every day and want to go in and crush it in this job. Now, why is that important? Because they're paying you and they want somebody highly motivated. Companies are really tired of how disengaged people are. They're like, we're paying them to do a job. All we get is flack. You know, it came out of the pandemic. I get it. Everybody was burnt out. But like it or not, employers sit in the driver's seat right now. They have choice. And what they're choosing are people who are showing passion and enthusiasm for what they do for work, for their customers, for their products, for their services. If you don't feel connected, if you can't feel a spark about what that company does, you're not going to get picked. You're not. So we should be thinking about any of these jobs that we're applying to, how to connect ourselves to them. And that's a big thing that we teach inside Work It Daily when we talk people through the connection story. We have them create something called an interview bucket list. And it's a way for you to look at companies and say, why do I feel lit up? Like, what's the story behind that? I'm not just going to have feelings towards a company. Obviously, when I know what they do, there's going to be some life experience that I have that's either going to make me be psyched about it or not psyched about it. When you can figure that out and start to tap into that, oh my gosh, game changer. Because you end up talking about that in the interview, talking about that in the application process, and that's what excites them about you. So to recap, don't mess around with bad templates, overpaying for your resume to be redone. AI, be very careful, right? Don't just apply online. It's not going to work. Do's. You are absolutely going to back channel as a way to get in front of somebody directly. Okay. You're absolutely positively going to use a job matching matrix to match yourself to the job to wow them. And you're 100% going to leverage your connection story as a way to say, yeah, I might have the same experience as these other 20 people you're looking at, but here's what's going to get me to come in and crush it for you every day. Here's why I really want this job. Here's my connection to you. This is what's going to get you hired in 2025. It's going to get you hired faster in 2025. I'm telling you right now. And I say this because there's so many people out there. Again, look at the stats. I linked it in the bio. I linked the article. So many people want a new job, which means everybody's looking for a new job, which means it's even more competitive to get hired. If there's thousands of people looking for jobs, it's more competitive, right? But the people that are going to get hired are the people that do it differently. So I'll tell you, if you keep doing what you did in 2024, it's going to be a slow and painful process for you. I just saw, by the way, just yesterday, Business Insider did a profile of a woman who said, I got laid off 8 months ago and I still don't have a job and I can't believe it. I mean, I hear that story every day. People come into Work It Daily and they're like, I must be doing something wrong. And we're like, you are, but we can fix that. You are going to have to do it differently. If you've spent 8 months looking for a job, folks, and you haven't found something new, whether you're working or not working, you're doing something wrong. That's the truth. Yes, it is a bad job market. It is a white collar recession, but you're still doing something wrong. There are still jobs out there. And that's really hard for people to hear. But I'm saying it to you because you can fix it. It's not rocket science. It's not brain surgery. You can fix it. But that's not going to happen if you don't learn to do something differently. So, make sense, everybody? Do's and don'ts of 2025. You got to do it differently. Now, if you want to learn things like the skimmable resume, if you want to learn my job search boot camp, if you want to learn the new and right ways to do that, we built a totally free resource center. No credit card required. Nothing to do other than pop your email address in to get access to it. It's a private community. And by the way, TikTok is going away, right? I do this live podcast 3 days a week. If you're in my community, you will get notifications and access to watch it and the recordings. So if for no other reason right now, if you click the link down here, go over to workitdaily.com, you'll see free job tools. Sign up for my free resource center. Get access to the private community so I can remind you about these events. And so you can get access to $1,000 worth of my materials. My proprietary job search materials are in this platform for you for free. And I will tell you why I'm doing that. One, because we can't work with everyone. Like we physically can't. Okay. There's literally millions of people looking for work right now. We can't. Number two, I'm appalled at the scammers in my industry right now. There's so much bad advice out there right now. There are people that like recruited for 2 years and now call themselves a career coach, right? Or people who couldn't get a job themselves, so they became a career coach, or they decided they're going to write resumes. Like the bad advice out there and the reputation it's giving my industry is sickening. And so the only way to disprove that to you and to earn your trust that career coaching can help you is to give you a free private community where you safely can go in there and you can see what it's like. You come to these sessions and you can watch the recordings and you can get access to my proprietary trainings. Okay. Totally free. My gift to you in 2025. Check it out. Again, TikTok, the link's up there. LinkedIn, YouTube, the link's down here. Sign up for the free resource center. I will say it again. No credit card required. Nothing. You're in there. And let's get going, okay? Because I want you to have a new, better paying job in 2025. I want you to like your work. I want you to get rid of that toxic coworker, that toxic boss. I want you to have less stress in your life, more happiness, more time and money to do the things that you want. And like it or not, work is a huge part of that. So let's fix it. Let's fix it together, okay? Awesome. 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 Okay. So I've got another 10 minutes to take questions. So now I'm just going to take them randomly from folks. So let's see what we got going on here. By the way, if you want all of your questions answered and you want to be fully supported, obviously you can come work with me and my team and you can learn about that over at Work It Daily, right? But I actually don't want you to sign up for us yet. I really think you should just go sign up for our free resource center and just start to see what coaching is like and understand how powerful it is. But if you are someone that's like, I need help right now, we've got amazing programs for you to check out at Work It Daily. Okay. Awesome. All right. So let's talk about how do you get an interview if you lack internal connections at the company you're applying to? Awesome question. This is a big question that comes up a lot. Okay. So if you are, let me bring this up here. If you have a company you want to work for and you know absolutely nobody there, the first thing we actually want to do is focus on info interviewing. So an info interview is an interview where you're saying, look, I'm not asking you to get me a job. I'm trying to understand more about your organization, more about your work and what it'll take to eventually get hired there. Okay. That's a very different scenario. People at companies are far more likely to do that because they're not feeling the pressure that they have to try to get you a job. And so when you're back channeling, you're sending them a custom connection request. So you're adding a note when you ask them to connect. And that note should talk about the fact that, something that you really respect and admire about their work. So you study their profile and you find something. And then when they connect, you say, I would love to learn more about you and your work at the company. Would you be willing to do a 10-minute info interview? I just want to hear about it. Again, not asking for a job, but I am looking to learn more. This is a numbers game. So not everyone is going to say yes to an info interview, but historically we find when you get better and better at the way that you customize the ask and what you ask them, you will eventually get somebody to agree. And all it takes is one. Because once you get one person at a company, folks, to agree to an info interview, you conduct the info interview, and we have a whole tutorial on how to do that inside Work It Daily. And then what you do is say, this was amazing. Could you introduce me to one person in the organization where you think I could also learn a lot from them like I learned from you? Everybody knows one person in the organization. They've now talked to you and know that you're not trying to scam them for something. You're not trying to get a job. So they're going to introduce you to somebody else in the organization. And you do that info interview and you say, if there was one person, and all of a sudden you've met with 3 or 4 or 5 people in the organization. Now a job comes along that you're a fit for. And you apply for that job and you go to these 3, 4, 5 people you met with and say to each one individually, hey, I want to thank you. I learned so much from you when we info interviewed. This job just popped up at your company. I just applied and I'm so excited about it because of what I learned from you. So thank you. So now you're thanking them, right? But you're also going to need to mention you applied to the job. And then you can be like, P.S. if you have like one tip to stand out, let me know. And so now they're like, oh, wait, I remember that person. Oh, they took my advice. That's so awesome. And they'll either give you a piece of advice or, you know what they do a lot of times? They forward you to the hiring manager and say, hey, I met this person. They're really nice. You should consider them for the job. Boom, mic drop. That's how it's getting done, my friends. Now I'm going to stop and say, a bunch of you are going to go, that sounds like a lot of work. You know what? First of all, it's not, if you really think about it timing wise. Secondly, you want a job worth thousands of dollars. And third, you're trying to beat out hundreds of people. So you can either be lazy and not get any results, or you can realize that this is the secret sauce and get yourself into a company you dream of working for. I can just tell you right now, of the people that I've worked with at Work It Daily, thousands and thousands of people who have followed this process and then landed a job at a dream company, they're pretty psyched they did it when they end up getting the job. They never see it as a problem ever again. Because when they get what they want, which is this awesome job at a company they love, it made it all worth it. And this is where a lot of people get hung up. You want the prize, but you don't want to play the game, right? You want the money, but you don't want to put in the effort. You want a job paying you thousands of dollars at a company you actually like, put the effort in. That's it. Applying online is not putting the effort in. If you don't believe me, rewind this and listen to my do's and don'ts of 2025. You're not getting anywhere. 0.3% chance of getting a phone call. Absolutely proven studies. So you've got to do it differently. And you've got to believe in yourself and just keep reminding yourself, I am doing this because once I do and I get that new job, I'm going to be the happiest person on the planet. It's all going to be worth it. Yeah. Does that make sense? Great question. Love it. Oh, I love this question. Does the job matching matrix insult hiring managers' intelligence or make me look overly eager? No and no. All right. Let's be clear about a job matching matrix, why it is unbelievable. I kid you not. I've not had a single person, Scout's honor, in my program come back and say somebody was offended by it. You get a job description. You're a hiring manager, okay? You've got a job description, and now you're given 10 resumes that all look different. And I'm supposed to sit there and figure out if each one of these 10 people matches everything on my job description. Why do you think they give that to the recruiter to do? Okay. But even still, I've got 10 candidates. How do they match up? So when you say, I took it upon myself to break down your job description and match myself to it to make it easier as opposed to my resume, you are making their job easier. What? That is not insulting the intelligence of a hiring manager. That is making their job much, much easier. Okay. I cannot even stress to you how big a deal that is. And now they're like, okay, I can see where you match up. This is going to be a much more productive conversation. That's the other big thing that happens is that now this hiring manager has this structure for the interview with you. The conversation flows better and is better than the other interviews they do where they don't have one of these. And now they're like, dang, why didn't everybody do one of these? That person was so smart that they did that for me. I'm telling you, game changer. I wouldn't be surprised, I'll be honest, and we're working on something internally at Work It Daily right now, but I think there will come a time where like resumes will die because people are just lying like crazy, right? And I think you would be able to just send a job matching matrix instead, as long as you could validate the experience. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But right now, it's becoming so critical for hiring managers to be able to validate you have the experience, and this is the best way to do it. It'll change, but right now, this thing is hot. Will it stay hot forever? No, I can't predict that. It'll change, but right now, the hot tool that's working is the job matching matrix. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. By the way, folks, I can't respond to DMs. If you're on TikTok, It is really impossible for me to respond to direct messages on social media. I just have too many of them. If you want to get a hold of me, you have to message me on LinkedIn or go over to Work It Daily and message my company. This is the easiest way to get in touch with me, is to message over at my company, workitdaily.com. You can go to support, or you can message me directly on LinkedIn. That is the only way to get in touch with me right now. I'm just so busy working with our clients at Work It Daily. They are my priority. I only carve out an hour a day to take a look at emails that are not related to my customers, because this is the season, right? This is when people's dreams become reality. This is like when we kick off the whole new job in the new year thing, and they're my priority. So I just want you to know that. I can't DM you back, but if you message me on LinkedIn or support, my team will respond to you. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Oh, I like this question. How do I set myself apart from an internal candidate? I have extensive leadership accomplishments and made it through the final interviews in pharma 5 times for leadership roles. I was informed they offered the person to the internal candidate. Love this question. Okay, folks, anytime you know you're the external candidate and you're up against the internal candidate, you have to ask yourself, go through that job matching matrix. What would be the downside of hiring the internal candidate? Plain and simple. There's a reason why companies historically promote from within, right? And the reasons they promote from within is the person is already proven, right? They're already performing well at the company. They have a lot of institutional knowledge or company knowledge because they've been there, right? And they have a lot of credibility, meaning they've earned the trust and respect of their peers. So they're going to be able to be more persuasive. Okay. So that's why internal candidates get hired a lot of the time. But what's the downsides to hiring an internal candidate? One, they might come in with like a lot of preconceived notions. So they don't have a set of fresh eyes on the problem. Okay. Two, they may not be able to adapt or adjust or do it the way this department wants them to do it. Right. They might kind of be stuck in that piece of it. So if you're thinking about the upsides to hiring the external candidate, it can be that you have a whole bunch of experience outside of what this person has. They've only had the internal experience. You've had the external experience. You've got all these broader experiences you can bring in. So you should be playing that up. Secondly, you've got a fresh set of eyes. This person could come in and be like, oh, think of it and do it the way the company's already done it, where you're going to be able to come in and look at it differently. Right. And third, you're bringing in new leadership, right? Maybe this person that's getting promoted doesn't have the trust and respect of the team, whereas you can come in and establish that as a brand new entity, right? So there are some upsides. The question is whether or not those are the things that the company needs, right? And so you've got to articulate that and talk to them about that. Like, is it important to you that you have somebody with fresh eyes who isn't going to do it the same old way? Is it important to you that you have people that have more varied experience outside of just your company so they can bring in those fresh perspectives? Is it important to you that you get some new leadership blood that people can learn from and grow from, as opposed to someone else who's just been with the organization forever? Like, you've got to look at the pros and cons and then craft your responses in order to compete against that. It's a huge, huge part of what I do with my elite clients. I'll be honest with you. So in Work It Daily, like, I'll work with them specifically on a situation and say, okay, here's how you sell against that. Here's how you should be positioning yourself around that. There's a lot of nuance to that. And the fact that you've made it 5 times now to the final rounds, obviously you're doing everything right. But in that last round, you are not agitating the pain enough to make them question whether or not it makes sense to hire that internal candidate. And so you're not making a strong enough case, which means it's safer to go with the default. Just being brutally honest. And so you've got to make a stronger case to be the must-have candidate for them to pull the trigger, because it is always a bigger deal to hire external than it is to do the safe route and hire internal. And that's the truth. You've got a bigger hurdle than that person, but you can do it. You've just got to be better prepared to twist the knife a bit and really show them that, look, this is crazy. You should hire external for this role, and here's why. I hope that made sense. Okay. Wow, I don't know where 30 minutes goes with all of you, but this was great. Again, I go live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Just ask JT. You will find me on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on TikTok for as long as it lasts. But if you want to make sure you can attend all of them, watch the recordings, and get access to $1,000 worth of my best materials totally free, all you have to do is sign up for my free resource center. No credit card, nothing. Sign up and you will be in the fam. You will be part of the community. So how about that be the one big step that you take in 2025? You come join and be part of my community, my free resource center. links in the bio on TikTok, links down below on YouTube and LinkedIn, right? You can also go over to workitdaily.com. You'll see free job tools in the menu bar. Sign up. You will be able to come to these sessions. And pretty soon, only members of my free resource center will be able to ask questions. So if you're somebody that's going to want to get some questions answered, you're going to need to be a part of the free resource center. Those are the only questions I'll be answering in 2025 pretty quickly here. We're setting that up. So for all of you just kind of lurking and watching, I love having you here, but my free resource people are going to get all the added benefit. So I hope you decide to go sign up, especially since it is free. Okay. Awesome. All right. I'm going to go work with my clients over at Work It Daily. I love you all. It's going to be a good year. I'm going to make sure it's a good year for all of you. Okay. We're going to do it differently. We know what to not do, what to do. We learned that earlier in the session. We're going to make it happen together. Okay. All right, everyone. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.